everyone, and welcome to our session today, which is all about prop making. Prop making just really extends children's learning. And the best thing about the props that I'm going to show you today is that they're really easy to implement, and you can involve the children when you're making them. And the materials that I'm using are very accessible as well. So just to go through some of the materials with you, crepe paper. Crepe paper I find is great because a little bit of it goes a long way, particularly if you cut it up. I find when I'm making collages with the children, you only need a tiny bit and it really goes a long way. When we look at recycled resources, these kitchen towel rolls are great because you can cover them, you can stick things to them, and they help characters in the story stand up. And that's really nice for the children because then they're able to use them in their play and extend it out with sand, blocks, and loads of construction materials. But it's just the scope for building from your story when you are able to represent the main character is really good, particularly for children's imagination. Paper cups are also great because you can cover them. These ones are left over from Christmas, but you could paint them, or you could stick crepe paper to them, or coloured paper, or again, what I like to do is photocopy some pages from the book, and then you can cut around the characters or the things that you like, and you can stick them onto your cups. The great thing about the paper cup as well is that it also doubles up as a holder for your characters. So for this one, this is a prop that I made for the nursery rhyme, The Grand Old Duke of York. So all I did was just stick on some yellow paper and a photocopied Grand Old Duke of York, and here are his men. Now, what I've done is that I've just cut out these men that are going to march up to the top of the hill, and I've just used sellotape. Now, if you wanted these characters to last longer, you could laminate them and stick them on with some glue. But for today, I've just sellotaped them on. So it's a really nice way for the children to learn and to be able to represent the characters. And the best thing about it is that we know that children don't just learn best, with their minds. They learn best with their whole body when they're moving. So they're able to use these characters on the lollipop sticks as you're telling, or maybe when you're telling the nursery rhyme, they're actually making up their own with these characters, which is better again, because that's what it's all about, extending their imaginations and their creativity. So they're the paper cups. Here's an example of what I was talking about, allowing your characters to stand up and to be able to move. And here's an extension of the prop, the wall that Humpty Dumpty sat on using construction blocks. Sometimes it's nice. Here's an example of one that I just cut a kitchen towel roll and I covered it with paper. Some of the crepe paper, and sometimes it's just nice for the children if they have a visual aid to remind them of a nursery rhyme or a song or a poem. So in this case, this one is from Mary, Mary, Quite Contrary, and you can see the cockle bells all in a row. So sometimes you can extend the children's learning by breaking tasks down and by doing little task bars with them. I know, for example, the task of washing your hands, that is a really easy one to break down into bite-sized chunks. And you can also use photography in that as well. I know I did a task bar with a child that was having difficulty remembering to roll up their sleeves before they put their hands in the water, and simplifying it down. We made a little book and we simplified it down from rolling up our sleeves, turning on the tap, putting the tissue in the bin, and we sequenced it all out. And the best thing about having props in storytelling as well is that you can revisit it. And it acts as a tool as well. And we know that particularly for early years children, they learn best through repetition. So you can use some of these as a visual aid as well. And here's an example of one from Baba Black Sheep. And again, you can extend it out and use the cotton wool as well. Maybe you could stick it on. So we put those ones in here. I like to use scarves in my storytelling. Now, the great thing about these scarves, you can buy them on Amazon, a pack. I think it came in a pack of 20 for about €15. And the great thing about these is that they are so versatile. You can be a superhero and use it as a cape. Or you can decide in your storytelling that you're going to use it as a prop yourself. And suddenly it becomes your storytelling shawl and you can tie it on here. And the children love that when their teacher is being really playful. And you can even use your own voice as a prop as well. And you can change the way you are in your storytelling by really, really whispering, because the children have to listen really, really well if you're talking in a really low voice. Or you might be a louder character that likes to kind of shout when you're talking. And the children enjoy that as well when you're doing it in a playful way. The nice thing about the scarves as well is that the children can connect with the story using their whole bodies to learn. So they can wave the scarves around. Maybe they're going on a bear hunt and they're walking through swishy swashy, and you can use it with the actions and the movement as well while moving the scarves. So the scarves are really, really nice and extremely versatile as well. And I suppose you have the opportunity to create little games from stories as well. I mean, when we talk about the bear hunt and hiding underneath the covers, again, hiding underneath the covers, and then that might extend it on, if you're looking at the children's emergent interests, into hide and seek games. And maybe from telling Baba Black Sheep and you have your cotton wool, you could start hiding a piece of cotton wool in underneath the cups and guessing which cup the cotton wool is under. So you never really know when you introduce these props where it's going to go, because the children are leading you all the time. Another nice thing is to use wooden spoons. Now, wooden spoons are great because you can paint them any colour you like and you can stick on things. I used felt for the pig's ears. As you can see, these ones are really well loved. We're missing noses and we're missing ears. Now, I purposely didn't fix these little piggies so they were all the same, because it brings up lovely opportunities to be able to talk to the children about equality and diversity and the fact that we're all different and we're not the same. So this little piggy has a pipe cleaner nose just rolled up, and we used a black marker for his eyes and some felt for his ears, and they're just stuck on. And the wooden spoons are extremely durable. And the best thing is, when the children have played and played and played with the three little pigs, and they're really not that interested in the three little piggies anymore, you can repaint them and they might turn into the three bears. And I have the three bears here. Again, these are very well loved as well. So you really don't know where your wooden spoons are going to take you. And they're a lovely versatile prop and a great aid for the children as well, to be able to pretend to be the characters themselves and to be able to extend the story out. The thing that I find with the props is that it's great if you have somewhere that you can store them. And it's great for the children as well, because it makes the materials more accessible if you're able to have them on a shelf at their own level. So For the purpose of the wooden spoons, I used a wine carrier. And it's great because what you can do is you can just pop it out and you can paint it, and suddenly it can become a house for your characters. And for this little one, this was one for our 3 little pigs here. And I just stuck some straw to it because it's nice to work with different textiles and to be able to provide a sensory experience for the children as well. And we painted the other side bricks to represent the brick house that the big bad wolf is going to come along and try and blow down. So that's the purpose of the wine carriers. And again, these wine carriers can be painted again and again and again, so you don't necessarily have to throw them out when you're finished. So we're nearly getting to the end. I find paper plates are really great as well because you can use them and you can create decorations for at home. You can make collages out of them. If you attach a little bit of ribbon, it can be hung as well, which is great. And outside of that, really, the lollipop sticks are great as well. These are really versatile and the children love them. But you know the best thing of all? The best thing for creativity is really the simplest thing in the world. It is a blank page and a pencil. Because when children engage in mark making, it doesn't necessarily have to be with a pencil. It could be with a piece of chalk. It could be with a seashell on a surface. It could be with paint. They're making their own plan. And they're really, really creating and representing things that they value and mean a lot to them. So I really, really encourage all children to mark make and make their own plans rather than following colouring sheets and templates. It's far better if the children are able to represent things in the world around them in their own way. So I hope you enjoyed our session today, all about prop making and extending the children's learning from stories. Don't forget, you can subscribe to my channel and we'll have another session very soon. Bye!